Hi everyone, long time no see. I'm Cheryl, I'm the Free Range Diva, and I'm very happy to be able to come talk to you today. First of all, to explain where I've been. It's been a minute since I put up a video, and the reason is because I've been sick. My mother got the flu, and she thought she had a cough that morning and went to her doctor to ask for something to take for her allergies. That afternoon, she went with me. She wanted to go to the farmer's market, and so I took her to the farmer's market. She took her new medication that night, went to bed, and didn't wake up for 24 hours. And when she did wake up, she had a fever of 101. By that time, of course, I had been exposed to it, and I got sick. I had gone out. I had to go out to the valley that morning. I got in my car to drive home around 11:15, and by noon, when I got out of the car, I felt fine at that point. But by the time I got home, 45 minutes later, I could barely make it up the stairs. And unfortunately, I didn't have any medicine, any flu medicine or anything like that, because it just came on me. It came on so sudden. I didn't even have a chance to prepare for it. So the bottom line is I got very sick for several days. I did manage to get the Oslo. I'll get that for you and show you what that looks like, because there's no way I can pronounce the name of it. But it's the flu homeopathic remedy. And that was 9 days ago. And as you can probably see, I'm still not quite back to being myself. But I did want to say that I'm getting there. And, regularly scheduled videos are going to be coming soon. It's funny, usually I have something that I've taped that I just need to edit that I can throw on, at the last minute if I need something, but didn't even have anything like that this time. Not that I had the energy to sit up and edit anyway, but yeah, it's been a rough week, and I also wanted to give you guys kind of a cautionary tale, because I did get so sick so quickly, and my mother was still, down with it. So she really wasn't much help. Plus, she didn't want to get re-exposed, so she kind of stayed away from me during the worst of it. But because I was so sick, my brain wasn't really working the way that it normally would. Like if I feel something coming on, I'll bump up my vitamin C, or I'll grab my olive leaf and start pumping that stuff into me. But I didn't have my brain just wasn't telling me to do stuff like that. All it was telling me to do was sleep. And the sleep wasn't a normal sleep. It was very much like a drugged, where you're in and out of consciousness. And so I wasn't drinking anything. When I would wake up and I would feel hungry, the only thing that I could stomach was applesauce. So I would eat applesauce periodically during the day. I would try and sip on water. I had an 8-ounce water bottle next to me, and I would sip on that. So I was probably getting about 8 ounces of water a day, and whatever I could get from the small amounts of applesauce I was eating. As a result, I became severely dehydrated. And this is a problem that many seniors especially have, is that you don't get in enough water, and as a result, this is why so many of us end up in the hospital, which I almost did, because you can die from that kind of dehydration. And my doctor was extremely worried. By the time I actually got him I was able to think clearly enough to call him. I had to start getting things in, like that first day. I remember I got I had to go to the store and get a couple of bottles of electrolyte water, because regular water, we have bottled water here, but I wasn't able to get enough of it in me. I just physically could not swallow it. But I could sip it, but the idea of turning up and, immediately getting in an 8-ounce glass, I couldn't do that. So I made it to the store. I got some electrolyte water, and I was able to, I think I got a big bottle. It was like 1.5 liters, which is a quart and a quart and 3/4, maybe, something like that. Anyway, I was able to get half that bottle down that first day, and then the next day I was able to get half that bottle and even more down, and that's when I think my brain started working better. I was able to then get those herbs and nutrients and things like broth. I was able to eat like soup. I was able to make myself some soup and eat that to get even more liquids in me. But it's just a precautionary tale. Be very, very careful, especially if you live alone, and you may have people in and out, but not someone there 24/7 to, like when my mother, that first day, I would get her up and I would get, she would have to get like broth at least in her, because she had to take her medication, her high blood pressure medication. So, at least 3 times a day I got her up and was able to get stuff into her, so she wasn't just, laying there sleeping like I was. Yeah, so that was bad. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, there were strange things happening during the whole course of the being sick, starting with, prior to getting sick, there was something weird going on with my left leg. I would wake up in the morning, and once I started walking around, it felt like the bottom of my foot was cold and wet, like I was standing in a puddle of water. It was a very strange sensation, and during the course of being sick, it became even stronger. This coldness in my left leg became really, really strong. And last Sunday night, I was going upstairs. I would get up in the morning and go downstairs and just stay there all day, because I couldn't be going up and downstairs. So I would just sleep on the couch or lay on the couch all day long, and then at the end of the day, I would go back up to my bedroom, and I was trying to get upstairs, and my right leg just buckled and collapsed underneath my weight. I couldn't. Fortunately, I was able to hold on to the handrail, and my left leg was still working well enough that I could hobble my way up to the top of the stairs. But it was extremely numb. I couldn't find the floor, and it happened 3 times that night, and then again the next morning. So yeah, I had called my doctor, because I wanted to check to see how the progress. Well, obviously he wanted to get some vitals on me after the flu, and I wanted to let him know that this strange, tingling and the accompanying that sort of pins and needles feeling under the feet was going on. And so he was, examining me, doing my reflexes. I didn't have any. And he asked me to stand up and just walk across the room to see what my gait looked like, and I collapsed again. So fortunately it happened in the doctor's office, and he believes that it's a pinched nerve in my lower back, which would make sense because, there's things, I'm always like, my back, especially, once I kind of hit into my 40s, has always been rather twitchy, for lack of a, like I'll be vacuuming and, I'll feel like my back goes into a spasm and have to stop and rest for a couple of days. Or I bend over to get Duffy out of the car, and I'll hear that, and that click will go off and my back will freeze. Or the worst was one day I got up off the couch and my back went into a spasm that, I literally had to lay on the floor until it passed. So I've always had those, these kind of weird back issues. And I guess that would make sense that probably because of the fever that I was running during the flu, and I went to put up, we have a water dispenser and we needed water. So I put that was actually Sunday morning, and Sunday night was when the first buckling started. That morning I had picked up the 3-gallon jug of Arrowhead water to put it on the thing, and I did, and of course, I could feel my back kind of twinge a little, and I was like, oh, great. But that's probably just all of that exacerbated. So he's going to have to do tests to make sure, and that's going to happen fairly soon, to make sure that that's what it is and that it's not something, more serious. But in the interim, there's nothing really to be done except to rest my back. So a lot of things, like I can't put Duffy in the car anymore. So yesterday we did our first walk around the neighborhood, at the end of which my legs were extremely numb and stayed for about 10 or 15 minutes before I could get feeling back in my legs. But the problem is that this collapsing happens without warning. So if I leave the house, I have to have a cane or a walker, which sounds so ridiculous, but like you said, if that happens when you're crossing the street, fortunately when it's happened here, I've been able to grab a hold to like furniture or a wall or something until I could get to a seated position. But like you said, if it happens outside and there's nothing for you to grab onto, you're going to fall, and that would probably make things worse, especially if I ended up hurting myself, by falling. So that's the situation. But if you're looking at me and you think I look kind of glowy and healthy today, this is a bronzer from Jane Iredale, and I literally poured a bunch of this stuff on me today. This is their Sunset bronzer, and I've got this on everywhere. So that's helping a lot. My hair I haven't washed since before this all happened. That was 9 days ago. So it's been about 10 days, and the headband is hiding a multitude of dirt. But at some point, maybe tomorrow, I'll be able to wash my hair. I don't really feel steady on my feet for the most part. There's times during the day when I have no symptoms whatsoever, and I can pretty much forget that I'm just walking around doing whatever, and then suddenly, like right now, I've got the tingling going on in my feet and the tingling going up and down my left leg, and slight numbness happening in my right leg. So there's a lot of weird sensations that come and go, and it's just hopefully, he said, if it is the pinched nerve that he believes it is, it can take up to 6 months, which sounds crazy, for it to heal, assuming that you can isolate it and not do it. That's the best scenario, is if you can obviously isolate and rest the nerve. But of course it's in my lower back, and I bend over, I sit up, I have to lift my legs to, put socks on, or, in the shower, I have to bend over. So it's probably going to be more me doing things to try and at least lower some of the inflammation that's going on internally. And I've doubled my dose of vitamin D. I've gone from 2,000 to 4,000 I use a day, and I'll probably go up to 6. Just giving myself I'm doing it in steps. I have doubled. I'm someone who takes fish oil when I remember to take it, and I eat fish once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. So now I am getting 1,000 milligrams every day, and once that becomes a habit, I'll bump that up to 2. There's other vitamin B12, which I did not supplement in the past. I am now, because again, that's nerves. That goes right to health. You know, the health and quality of your nerves, as well as many other things. All of these supplements that I'm talking about are there. I'm taking to support my nerves and to help it, you know, to help my body lower some of the inflammation around the nerve. So the only other thing I'm going to add on is alpha lipoic acid, and I just don't have any now, but Sprouts in April, which is tomorrow, runs their quarterly 25% off all of their supplement sale. So in the interim, that'll give me, until they put that on, it'll give me a chance to find some that's corn-free, and then I'll start supplementing with a little bit of alpha lipoic. The body, it's an antioxidant that is one of your body's master antioxidants that your body makes, you know, anyway. So I'm not, you know, terribly concerned that I need to rush and start supplementing it. The body's ability to make it obviously declines as we get older, so I will get that, you know, and get that going. But I think that's all I wanted to say to you today, except, you know, learn from my experience. Listen to your body when you're sick. You know, I know it's tough. It's tough. Hopefully, you know, you can get someone close by that can actually, like, help you, because in my case, I couldn't answer the phone. I couldn't send out an email, you know, so trying to let my friends know was impossible. So that's it, everyone. I wish you a wonderful weekend. It's Friday here, so hopefully I'll get this up by the end of the day today, and you guys have a great weekend. I will see you again very soon. Well, right now, my right leg is gone completely numb. This is going to be fun. A fun transition. Okay, everybody, take care. I will see you really, really soon, I promise. And bye. Oh, shoot.